Welcome to Everything Carp Fishing. I'm back down on mid-Kent water to hopefully try and catch something. I've got 24 hours. Last couple of sessions have been really difficult, so hopefully I'll catch something this time. So let's go. I've been here about an hour and I've seen over 12 carp swimming up and down right in front of me, which is a really good sign. I kind of wanted to know what I was going to do when I was turning up, and I weren't sure what swim to go in. I've actually come into the same swim I fished last time. I only saw one carp within like 24 hours of fishing here, and I've only been here an hour and I've seen 12 carp. This is definitely the swim I want to be in. You know, it only takes one of those carp to be a bit daft and pick up the hook bait, and then I get to have a carp landing. This is definitely the swim I want to be in. It's only going to take one of those carp to dive down, and I definitely have a bite. But you never know. What's going to happen tonight and tomorrow morning may change things, but for now I'm still seeing them swimming up and down, so there's definitely a good chance. Trying to figure out where to put some hook baits. I have seen plenty of carp just beyond where the weed is. It was raked out in the open, so basically what I'm doing is I'm fishing right up, like right along where the weed is. Most people would probably fish from more further, but I've seen the majority of the carp swimming right up and down, right close to the weed. I suppose they're hiding in that weed, and there's plenty of food and naturals in there, and it's a really good hiding spot as well. They can just hide in there, and then you don't get fished for really that much, because it's so thick along the surface. It's so dense. You have to literally just rake out a whole spot, and it probably take you half a day just to do that. So I've decided to not bother raking out, fish where I've got clear areas in front of me, but also where I've seen the most carp swimming up and down. Well, it would be really nice to get one carp at least on this session. It's been really difficult the last couple of sessions I've been down. Haven't really had anything for a while, but this time it's in carp, give me more confidence, so hopefully I'll catch something. Rigs I'm using are Ronnie rigs. In the past I've been using lead clip with tubing. You're not actually use leaders here, so I had to use tubing, and lead clip is pretty much anything I had. Inline you can use, but it's so silty and weedy I didn't really want to use that, and I couldn't really do helicopter rig, and that's my favourite thing to do. To be honest, I prefer helicopter rigs out of them all. Korda have come up with this new helicopter setup for tubing, which looks really good, and because I like helicopter setups I decided to get it, because I just think they have better presentation over weed and silt. All you got to do is move that bead up and you're fishing really, because everything can sink into the bottom and then your hook bait is sitting up above. With the lead clip, as soon as the lead goes in, it pushes the lead clip up, directly upwards, and your rig is sticking straight up and sort of bending to get to the hook bait, so it sort of like creates like a loop, and it just looks awful. It looks like it just all gone down a big heap. So that's the reason I don't like lead clips as much. When the bottom's a bit more firmer, I prefer using the lead clip as well, because I think it has a better presentation over sort of firmer ground. But when it's on a softer, silty, weedy area. I just think sometimes it can be dragged down quite a bit. Using this helicopter setup has given me a little bit more confidence, and also it's safe, which is really good. The hook baits I'm using are Cool Candy 15mm pop-ups. I actually caught the only carp so far from here on those, and I decided to try other hook baits and haven't had anything, so I've come back to the same hook baits, which was a bit daft really, because I had a carp on it, so I might as well stick with it. But I've come back and decided to go with them again, and if I catch a carp this time, then I don't think there's anything else I need to do. I'll just stay to the same thing. I did try out particles and little hook baits and things, but nothing's really happened on those. The bottom baits I'm putting out over the top are Cool Candy 15mm. I've also soaked them in a bit of water just so they're a bit softer and they don't take on any silt in the lake. When you put hard baits in, when they're puffing up on the bottom, they suck in all the silt and they smell horrible. But if you soak them in water overnight, they pump out liquid, and that will stop it from soaking up any silt. 20 minutes after casting my rods out, hadn't seen a carp for a while, and then I suddenly saw one swimming out of nowhere. It stopped over one of my rigs, dived down, and then spooked. I'm not entirely sure what that was about, but he definitely saw my hook bait and definitely had a little go for it, but yeah, sort of spooked off it. Doesn't matter too much, there's plenty of carp I've seen swimming up and down. I'm sure one of them will pick up the rig soon. Probably the best chance to be getting a bite probably be tomorrow morning, so hopefully I catch something by then. Hopefully I do, because it'd be nice to get a carp. Been a couple of hours, well, nothing's really happened. I've seen 3 carp. Saw one swim out in the middle, and I saw 2 together swim straight over the top of where my rigs are. But I think they're more interested in swimming around on the surface. It's really weedy out there, so I don't really want to fish zigs or anything. And there wasn't really opportunity for on the surface, because there's only like the odd 1 or 2. It's not really anything that I can get going or anything, so fishing on the bottom is pretty much all I got. But I'm still thinking that tomorrow morning will happen. There's been a lot of carp here today. I've seen nearly 15 carp already, so that's quite a lot considering I've only ever seen like 2 or 3 in overall my other sessions, and I caught 1. So seeing like nearly 15 carp in this area means that I got a really good chance of getting a bite. I've also heard that a few carp are starting to come out recently as well, which is really good because it hasn't been doing that well. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning, hopefully get a carp. That'd be nice really. It's just been difficult, and I've been putting in a few sessions on here and nothing's really happened, but I'm sure everything will happen tomorrow morning. Let's hope. Well, nothing happened last night apart from a massive storm about 5 o'clock in the morning, lightning, thunder, really heavy rain. I couldn't really get out of the bivvy. I ended up just staying in there and just waiting until it went. I was hoping that it was going to just go, because I just thought, no way I'm going to be able to fish in this. I didn't know what to do. If I had to buy it, I wouldn't have been able to play it, because I would have probably been hit by lightning, so that would have been great. About an hour after first light, I did notice a few carp returning into the open water bit where I'm fishing. I've seen over 15 carp. A few of them have dived down and picked up the odd bait, but nothing's really got going. They've had like one, maybe two, and they just sort of disappeared. I had a few carp go near my hook bait and spook, so I was just thinking maybe because it's popped up, or maybe because it was white. Or hit. So I've changed the hook baits to wafter hook bait. I didn't want the hook bait sitting on all the rubbish on the bottom, and I didn't want it soaking up all the seal, and I didn't want it to be like really smelly and horrible and then not get a bite this morning. So the reason I stuck to pop-ups is because I thought they'd be more presentable on this bottom. There's lots of silt and bits of weed and all sorts of like bits on the bottom, so I thought they'd be more presentable on there, but clearly the carp are spooking from it. Something wrong with it. They definitely can notice something. I decided to put one on a snowman, cool candy bottom bait, and a cool candy pop-up, but it's a 10mm pop-up. And on the other one is actually a cool candy bottom bait. I've actually drilled it out and I've plugged it with a pop-up, a yellow pop-up that I've sort of trimmed down the edges, and I've just shoved it in. One of my favourite hook baits is boiling plastic corn, but you can't use plastics on here, so I've decided to try something a bit different. It's something new that I've just started to come up with to replace that hook bait. So I've recast them, put a few fresh hook baits over each one. I didn't want to put too much because I really put bait in last night. They've eaten a few bits and bobs, but nothing too much. Yeah, so hopefully the change will make a difference, and maybe I'll get something. Let's see. Well, looks like I've had nothing this session. It's been really difficult. I've seen loads and loads of carp, but they just don't really want to feed that much. They're picking up the odd boilie, and what can you do? I have no idea what I have to do to catch these carp. The water's so clear, and they're just spooking from everything. What can you do? Well, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.